Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Great Sexpectations with me, therapist Nikki. And today we're going to be talking about intimacy. Now, people usually assume, or at least my clients, that when I'm talking about intimacy, that I'm talking about sexual intimacy. That's a type of intimacy, but it is not the only type of intimacy, not the only way to build a connection with your partner or partners. I'm talking about different non-sexual ways to connect. Yes, you can have sex with people and create sexual intimacy. However, that's not the only form of intimacy. I mean, we're talking about someone who you text like at 3 o'clock in the morning when you had a bad dream, or you have a thought like, oh my gosh, I just had this great idea and I don't know, I'm going to create this company, or I had this really scary dream and I really need to process it with somebody, or I need to talk about it and I want to talk about it with you. That's a form of emotional intimacy. So there are several types of intimacy, which I'm going to list, and I'm going to list examples of in this video. So the first one is physical intimacy, and that is non-sexual touch. So holding hands, a hug, being really close to each other. Those are forms of physical intimacy that are non-sexual. Then intellectual, having a stimulating conversation. So being able to connect with somebody on that, brainy level, as far as, oh, well, what about global warming? Well, let's talk about this. Or what about religion and politics? Or whatever religion. Talking about an interesting article that you found on Facebook when you're scrolling. I find interesting articles all the time. I post them on my Facebook page. And it's cool to have that conversation. I love it when clients or I have friends or clients that comment on them, and then we start like this intellectual dialogue on the page. And of course there's sexual intimacy, which is a sexual and sensual play. So kissing, oral sex, foreplay, all of those are forms of sexual intimacy. So another form of intimacy is social intimacy, and that's socializing with others in a community. So let's say that you want to go to a trivia night, or you're going to like a festival with friends. That's social intimacy, and bringing your partner or partners with you is building that intimacy. Another form is recreational, developed through play. As adults, for some reason, we don't think it's okay to play sometimes. It is totally okay to play. And get in touch with, if you do age play or you do big little play, getting in touch with getting in touch with your inner child. Go run and have a water fight together. Shoot water guns at each other, water balloons, or Nerf guns, or just throw paint on each other. Just having fun together, and it's okay. It's okay to play. A lot of my clients sometimes I don't know how to play. I don't know how to have fun. Well, you just have to let yourself go and let it be okay. It doesn't matter what other people think. You're having fun. You're nurturing the little kid inside of you, and it's totally fine. It's totally fine to do that with a partner. It's okay. So another form of intimacy is humor and banter, and that's developed through playful teasing and dialogue. That's also part of the play aspect. My husband likes to do puns. He's a very punny guy. And this is all day, every day. So we have this banter that goes back and forth in humor, and sometimes I'll play along, and sometimes I'll be like, okay, that's your 5 pun limit. But that's the humor and the banter piece that goes back and forth. And spiritual, developing religious and spiritual practices with each other. So spirituality does not mean church. For folks, church can be a part of spirituality. Religion can be a part of spirituality, but that's not all spirituality is. It's enjoying the world. It's enjoying the earth, enjoying being connected to something greater. So it could be a part of, let's see, if you're pagan, going into pagan rituals, or doing your own rituals together as a couple or as a group, as a polyamorous group, as a family, and creating that spiritual intimacy with each other, praying at the dinner table, is a form of spiritual intimacy. Another form of intimacy is collaborative and operational. Developing a shared project such as running a household. So running a business together, running a household, creating those types of connection rituals. And power exchange. So if you're in the kink world, power exchange, you have a dom, dame, sub, slave, top, bottom, handler, pet, daddy, little, mommy, little. So there's a plethora of power exchange. Experiential, developing new experiences together. So having a couple's bucket list or having a group bucket list, saying we want to experience this together. We want to take a cruise to Alaska together. Or we want to go bungee jumping together. We want to go through this cave. We want to go scuba diving. Creating new experiences, going to Legoland I want to go to Legoland with my niece and nephews one day. That's creating an experience, creating an intimacy with the family. Another one is emotional, developing emotional vulnerability. Like I said earlier, who do you call at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're scared? When you need to process something, when you've had something really bad happen or something emotionally charged and you need to talk about it. Being able to open up to that person develops that emotional intimacy with a person or another person, just like in group. This is why groups are important, because you form that emotional intimacy with a group of people that you feel comfortable opening up to and safe, because you know what happens in that space stays in that space. You are safe. Another one is trauma and conflict, working together through crisis and conflict. There have been several studies that show that trauma does bring people together. I can't name them off the top of my head right now, but natural disasters. Look at how well people in America came together at 9/11. People, all of a sudden, it's America. We've got to stop this. We have to ban. They can't do this. We have to band together. So through crisis, people can bond and become intimate in that particular situation. Moral, do you have shared values? At the core, is family important to you? Is family important to the other person? Is career, or is love, or is integrity? Sharing those with one another. And the last two, I know I had these written down, and aesthetics. Through shared beauty, for enjoying beautiful things together. A sunset, a flower, you look pretty, you look handsome, you look amazing. These things can help bring aesthetic intimacy with one another. And last but not least, we have commitment. Develop mutually derived common investments and settings. So being able to commit to one another and being able to commit to the group and forming bonds in that commitment. And most of these that we've had a short list before, but most of these I got through Patty Evans's new book called Working with Kink Clients. But she does a lot of Gottman therapy, as do I. And just having different forms of intimacy. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Feel free to email me. Feel free to add me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. All the social medias. Please feel free to add. So I hope to see you in the next one.
Hey everyone! Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also in the comments below, tell me how you feel about this video and if there's anything you would like to see in future videos. Check out my social media pages on Facebook and Twitter, and then my professional website, therapistnicki.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.